Hello, all my fellow abnormals. So, this would be number 4 or 5. I don't know. And today, I just get to study all day, bore my brains out, and I get to think about other people's theories and think about how complicated they are for someone who isn't in that same mindset. Because other people think about how theories and people change with time because society and what we need, and because of what society needed the last generation, what we need to do to fix it. And it's just an ongoing cycle of people changing. One thing that I don't think really changes is people have problems. Every generation, every year, society has their own problems, but they all have problems. I guess that's where psychologists fit in, which I'm supposed to be doing eventually, I guess. But society has problems, people have problems, we all have problems. The question is how much you allow them to affect your life. And once you realize and recognize that you have a problem. So first step would be recognizing you have a problem. And honestly, it's not like there are certain problems that are never actually solved throughout life. They're just ongoing. But at the same time, it's a good thing because it's an ongoing challenge to better yourself and to locate that problem, define it, and decide that it doesn't define you. And do everything possible to make sure that you get to stay in control of who you are, and your problem or problems aren't what define you. The fact that you're trying to fix them, that's what defines you. The fact that it's important for you to become a better person through no matter what you're going through. That's what's more important about you. Because there are people who give in and turn into their flaws. Allow their flaws to become their entire personality, and at some point they never come out. Those people are murderers or homeless, or just people that seem down on themselves all the time, depressed, which I think any of us can be, because I think at some point we all let our problems get the best of us and decide that they control us for that time. Insecurities and flaws, it's just part of who we are. It's what makes us human, and yet we still try to do everything to make it seem like we're not human and that we have to be perfect, ideal. People and human is not ideal. It's flawed. When you see a picture of a model who's been, recreated using all sorts of Photoshop, it's an image. It's not a picture of reality. It's a picture of perfection, which is not human. Sure, it's the ideal. We all strive and try to be, but it's the end of the rope, and we'll all reach our own potential when we get to our end. But it's not human. Flaws are human. Accepting your flaws are human, and accepting that you're not defined by them and you're way past them. I think very few things are human that we preach, at least. And I think one thing that purely is human is good and bad and happy. Those are things that we get to define for themselves. So they're not only human, but they're also personalized. I think they're the most human things about us. The fact that we get to personalize what we deem happy and good and sad and bad. These are things that we get to define. Being human is being able to be an individual. We don't have to fit a rule. We don't have a rule and a roll call. We don't have to be uniformed. The fact that you're unique and I'm unique, that's what makes all of us human. And sometimes you're scared that if you're too unique, you won't be accepted. And sometimes you won't, but that's because every single unique person has their own thing that they're looking for in another person, another unique individual, something that they'll connect to or whatever. And sometimes that person won't accept you, but other people will. You're never alone. There's always someone similar enough to you that you can get along and you can relate to them. Yes, we're all individuals, and no, we will not relate on everything, no matter who you think you found your soulmate or your best friend. You're going to be different. And as soon as you accept the fact that there's differences because you're unique, because you're human, maybe you'll be able to accept yourself a little bit more. And allow social situations and circumstances not to intimidate you, because you realize that everyone's just as individual as you are. Maybe a little bit more. If it's too much for you, then maybe they're not for you, but I very highly doubt that they're too different from you that you can find a way to connect with them, because they're all different and we're all divided into so many different traits when it comes down to it that you should be able to connect with them on something. That was just what was going through my head today, because obviously there was something I was thinking about that was getting me down and making me feel a little separated, and maybe this video is more for me than for anyone. Maybe I need to tell myself sometimes that it's okay to be different and it's okay to feel different. And if that makes me feel insecure being around people, then I have to get over that, because isolation to me is the worst punishment. Anyways,